first speaker in the second half is no stranger to the Ignite Liverpool stage. And you can welcome Cath Holland, who's going to be telling us about why not owning a car doesn't make you a saddo.
Yeah, why not owning a car doesn't make you a saddo loser. I was in work a few weeks ago and there was this leaflet on someone's desk and I picked it up, and basically it was about 15-minute cities, you know, the premise that try and limit any journey that you make, whether it's bus, car, walk, to 15 minutes. And I read it up, well, it sort of makes sense. I probably wouldn't think it was not for everyone, but I looked further into the leaflet and it started going on about how it curtails our freedoms, and they started going, oh, pay cash for everything. And it was a massive conspiracy theory leaflet, which I found very, very amusing. But because I'm not sort of person, yeah, it was a deep dive, and they were outside the town hall before shouting at everyone, which I thought quite amusing. But anyway, I was at the gym last year, and a lovely lady, this is me at the gym by the way, and a lovely lady came up to me, she's a lovely girl, and she said, oh Cath, I'm always seeing you walking around Birkenhead. Is it part of your fitness regime? And I said, no, I don't drive, I haven't got a car, so I'm just going to Asda or Future Yard or Skeleton Records. And I could tell there was like a fear in her eyes, it was like a terror that she was, the knowledge that she was actually talking to a working class person. Now, the whole, there's that quote from Margaret Thatcher, which wasn't actually by Thatcher, that if you reach age 25 and you stood at a bus stop, then you're a failure at life, which, you know, is nonsense, but it's something that is very much ingrained in UK society, that if you haven't got a car, basically having a car is a status symbol, and if you have to walk or you have to get the bus, or then basically you are a massive pov. Now during the pandemic, in the second lockdown, did you know that cleaners were our first line of defence against the pandemic were not classed as key workers? Which I thought was absolutely pretty disgraceful. And the second lockdown, the government instructed that only key workers should get the bus. Now, most cleaners, middle-aged women, minimum wage, part-time, there's no way they can afford a car. And it did bring home that sort of lack of class consciousness when it comes to public transport. And not everyone is ideally suited to drive a car. I can't drive. This is George Costanza from 1994 episode of Seinfeld, where he gets really angry because he thinks someone's giving him the finger, so he follows them for miles in his car. And then he finds out basically that it's someone with arms in a cast. Now, I'm not saying that cars are a bad thing. There's been a lot of media coverage over the last few days about predatory men and women's vulnerability. And to be honest with you, that's up to men to make sure that women do feel safe walking home after dark. This is a lonely man, and I've thought a lot about the whole, when you Google lonely man, that's what you get, isn't it? It's great for fitness stuff. But the whole, because loneliness is an epidemic in the UK, and if you think about a hypothetical situation, which isn't that far from the truth, if you're working from home and you get your car, you take your car to the shops, and you use a self-service till you're not talking to anyone all day, it's very, very possible. That's up there because I think unnecessary car journeys. I'm from a working class background. My mother, honestly, if you've got like a dryer and it's sunny out, then I'd rather peg me undies outside than use a dryer, and that's like an environmental thing. Car sharing's great. I do think they look like wholesome, like go to like a wholesome dogging session in a way. But yeah, I was in West Kirby on Saturday, and there were lots of lovely middle class people perambulating around on their push bikes, and it was absolutely delightful. But it brought home to me that people who have to use a push bike to go to work in the relentless pissing rain are not considered of the same class value. Electric cars are going to have to come down in price if anyone thinks normal people can afford it, and of course electricity prices are going through the roof as well. Oh yeah, anyone who knows this snack, this tall drink of water is? It's Scott Walker. He was packed in 1992 by the Sun newspaper in an effort to shame him for being a push bike. And Scott Walker is one of the coolest dudes on the planet. So the very fact that they tried to shame someone as cool as Scott Walker for riding a bike is ridiculous. Yeah, so those of us who have to walk, cycle, get the bus to work or school, we all look down on, but it's a viable option, isn't it, walking, cycling. I'm alright being a loser. That guy's there, he's got his magic beans, he's alright. So I just like to say, if you walk, you cycle, you get the bus, you're not a loser, and if you are, who cares? Thank you.